Hey you guys, I wanted to talk today a little bit about my experience with the, what should I call it, the camp, the retreat that I did for, it was a Shou Gong retreat back in, well, I think it was February 2024. So, which, yeah, seems like, God, such a while ago now, but the time goes by so fast. Um, I think at that time I had wanted to attend the martial camp in Thailand, and I felt like I really wanted to meet the different masters, and I think I didn't know there was a specific Yan Shou Gong camp. Maybe it hadn't even been announced when I first started thinking about it. Um, Obviously, since then I have been to the martial camp, but that it wasn't February 2024. I remember seeing all the videos about it and thinking like, wow, like this is nuts, dude. Like this is something really different and something really interesting. I couldn't figure what was going on, like what the guys were doing. But I thought, hey, this is something I need to experience and see if this is like, is this real? Like, is this legitimate? I think a lot of people have that view when they see the footage, because it looks weird, right? I don't think there's any I don't think there's any denying that, right? Um, so I was really into this idea of going to the martial camp, but for one reason or another, it just wouldn't line up. Like I couldn't really figure it out. And I think it was in a later stage that the Yan Shou Gong retreat was announced, and I thought, wow, this is kind of this is what I wanted. I wanted the chance to meet Master Yap, and now that there's this camp happening, or that since I found out about it, I was like, okay, well, not only do I get to do a couple of days of Master Yap, but this is like 5 or 6 days. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. I'm pretty sure it was 6 days, but yeah. And it wasn't as expensive as attending the martial camp itself. And yeah, so I just thought, look, everything. It was at a time where I could get the time off of work, and I don't know, it just things kind of fell into place. I thought, okay, cool. Well, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to attend. And so I got the tickets and everything sorted to fly out to Bangkok and then change there for Chiang Mai. And the retreat itself was in Niman, so it's like I don't know what to say about it. I mean, it's part of Chiang Mai. It's kind of a. I mean, as with a lot of places, there's a lot of like different people. Like it's very diverse. Like a lot of different people living there, doing different. Like I mean, it's a lot of the like digital nomad stuff, right? Um, so yeah, there's a lot of like, I don't know, like shopping and stuff there, and I think there's a university there as well. So it was easy to find a hotel and everything. I ended up staying in this. It was like, I didn't know when I booked it, but it was kind of like sumo themed. I can't even remember the name of the hotel now. I'll try and remember it later. But it was like, yeah, when I got there, I mean, it was massive. It was really really big. It was super cheap and really big. And then one second, Foley's coming over to see what's going on. Hello, you gonna say hello? Oh, look who it is. Yeah, I was sort of I don't know. She's been roped in as our mascot, I think. I'm gonna put you down, all right? But yeah. So yeah, I booked this hotel that was easy. It was just easy. It was within walking distance of the sort of the venue, right, for the, like, where the camp was taking place. because it wasn't one where you stay at the address. You know, it was you sorted out your accommodation separately. And yeah, anyway, when I got there, yeah, it was the hotel was massive, and it had this cool like it was like a pond outside and different like what to say, like ornaments or like statues or something, really kind of cartoonish. And yeah, this really big image of a sumo wrestler. Um, so I don't really know what the deal with that was, to be honest. But and then inside there was a big statue. Again, I think it was a sumo wrestler. Um, I probably got photos somewhere, but it was kind of a strange vibe. Um, and yeah, it was like I think when I got there, the it was like the power didn't work or something. But anyway, it was all good in the end. It was a cool place to stay, and I've been back to Thailand since, and I would have stayed there again if I could, but they were I couldn't get the days again, so I'm not hating on it. You know, it was a good place, and the staff there were great. So anyway, you know, I'm rambling, but it was a cool location, and the workshop itself was at a yoga studio. I think it was like an Iyengar yoga studio, although that might be wrong because I think I might be getting mixed up with a workshop I did in Portugal. But anyway, it was a yoga studio, really nice kind of vibe and a nice space. Um, there's not too much to say about it really. It was just again it was in a convenient location, and yeah, there was quite a few of us there as well, so it needed to be relatively large. Like my recollection is that there were like maybe 15 of us. I'm pretty sure there was 15 students, because this is like, you know, before I qualified as an instructor, and there were people from all over the place. I mean, quite a few of them had already attended the martial camp because this the Shou Gong retreat was just after the camp finished, the martial camp finished, I should say. And so off the top of my head, I know there was some other guys from, well, there was at least one other guy from the UK that attended. There were people from France, there were people from Germany, there were people from sort of various parts of Asia. I don't know if anyone was actually from Thailand who was there. I think everyone had traveled to be at the to be at the Shou Gong camp. I think there was someone from maybe like Kazakhstan or something like that. But again, this could be wrong, like it was a while ago, but yeah, I think there was a guy from Ukraine, so as a guy from Hungary as well. So, you know, all these people have traveled from different places, and the Czech Republic, and it's great. It's a really nice kind of opportunity to meet people from different parts of the world and be at this amazing location, right? Because whichever way you cut it, I think when you, like, I know maybe it's not easy for everyone to get to these different camps if they're in Asia, but I mean, Thailand is an amazing place. You know, the weather was great and everything, and yeah, it's a good opportunity for people to get away and just spend like a week immersed in doing these practices, right? And I know there's other kind of similar retreats, like you can do meditation stuff or like silent retreats or whatever. And I think in some ways it doesn't even really matter what the retreat is. It's just bringing you out of your like day-to-day stuff and giving you a chance to yeah, just reconnect with yourself and spend some time where you're not having to think about your work emails or your, I don't know, whatever it is, right? Um, so yeah, that was really, it was just a nice location, and again there were like 6 instructors. So there was Master Yap, of course, Lyndon was there from the Netherlands, Brandon, of course Brandon's also based in KL. I'm trying to think who else was there. I know Juan was there. I'm not sure where he's based typically, but he's a really good instructor. There was Gary and also Jimmy, another guy based in KL in Malaysia. And yeah, Jimmy's really great as well. Actually, some of you might be aware of Jimmy because I think he features in some of the course videos on the Martial Man site. Like if you know if you're doing like maybe the first Shou Gong course, like he's definitely in there. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, if you guys have attended other workshops and stuff, I'm sure you're probably familiar with these guys, like Brandon. You know, is in fact Brandon was in the UK fairly recently, and we did a really good workshop in was in Gloucester. But anyway, so back then I think that was my first time meeting Brandon. It was definitely my first time meeting Jimmy. And even, you know, it was a chance for me to meet Kieran for the first time, like the Martial Man, Kieran. So that was really cool. Obviously, I'd already been sort of familiar with him through like videos and stuff, but hadn't ever talked with him. And certainly hadn't met him face to face. And Master Dennis was there again. I don't know how that. I don't know what the story was there. I guess he was at the. He must have been at the Marshall camp, and then stuck around. So yeah, he was. It was really good to to get to catch up with Master Dennis again, and again similar to when I'd met him the first time. It was like even though he's not really teaching Yan Shou Gong, he's still able to, like, he understands the principles very well, and he can demonstrate them very well. So yeah, that was it was really good to see him again. And of course, Master Dennis and Master Yap are friends, so it's I don't know, it was a very nice atmosphere. And again, you have this range of teachers from different parts of the world, like I said, there was Lyndon and Gary from the Netherlands. I mean, Gary's initially from England, but then you've got the guys from KL, and yeah, it just came together to be a really nice vibe. And I think each of the different instructors bring something a little bit different as well. Maybe one of them might help you with something, and it's helpful, but then maybe maybe it could be explained to you in a little bit of a different way from someone else, and it might click even more into place. Which yeah, I think again, if you've been to different workshops, I think we've all had that experience, right? And it's not that any of the instructors are like bad, but it's just that sometimes, you know, for me at least anyway, I can say from my experience, sometimes I'm not quite getting or not quite following what someone's saying. Someone else might say more or less the same thing, but just illustrate it in a slightly different way, and it all falls into place. Which is great. It's so great. It's a great feeling, right? When you're trying to get something and then it clicks. Especially with this like internal stuff, you know, it can be very elusive. You know, sometimes the meaning of it evades me to this day, right? So I've already said, you know, it was 5 or 6 days. Pretty sure it's 6 days, and we were mostly doing morning sessions because initially I think we thought about we did some afternoon sessions, at least at the beginning, but I think people were just too fried, you know, like we're doing all this stuff day after day, it can be very hot, and some of the people were joining the retreat after already doing these like 2.5 weeks at this other camp, and I think it just felt like, you know, in the end we decided just to stick to the morning sessions, which I don't know, maybe some people would have preferred to have longer, but but for me at least it was a good call, because like I said, I find like this stuff can be taxing, like even if it's not really physically it's not like we're doing loads of cardio, you know, we're not going to start a Yan Shou Gong camp and be like, okay, well, you got to do 100 burpees. It's not like that, but it's still draining. It can still, you know, mentally you're trying to go through these concepts, and you're doing the partner work, and it can be taxing, and you want to be able to take time to process everything that you're being taught. So for me that worked really well. And over those days, we did the first six forms. Of course, if you do the first part of the online course, or you have the first book, like, I don't know if anyone has the books, but there are books, there are Shou Gong books, and the way they're split up, they cover six forms each. So, and the courses are, the online courses are structured in a similar way. So we went through all things come from emptiness, look left, look right, casting the net, calming heaven and earth. There was incense pointing to heaven, and sun and moon swinging. That's the first six Shou Gong sets or forms. And having that time, I mean, I would say we probably focused more on the first form. We probably spent more time on some than others. But yeah, it was just a great opportunity to go through all of them, because at a 2-day workshop or even like a 1-day workshop, you're just not going to have the time to go into depth with that stuff. Like, it's just not possible, just due to time constraints. But with the retreat, you've got that time, or we had that time. So yeah, it was really cool. And yeah, there were just, for me anyway, it sort of went that it was sort of more or less standard, and then there'd be kind of maybe some stuff I was struggling with, and then there'd be like a breakthrough, and then maybe you go back to being, oh, I'm not sure about this again, and then you'd have another breakthrough, or I'd have another breakthrough, and that's it. You having those days dedicated to it, it allows you that time, because this stuff is hard. No one's saying, like, I know Master Yap says, well, we take the maybe typically it would take 10 years to learn this internal stuff to a certain standard, and we're trying to reduce that down to 3. So it's quicker, but that's not to say it's like easy. There's still a lot of challenges with that, and or at least that's what I found. And doing the retreat definitely definitely gave me a good sort of boost in my practice, and in my, what to say, like in my understanding of everything. And yeah, obviously there was the social aspect of it as well. Like, we were all hanging out. We'd go to the mall. There's a big mall in Niman. There's a place called Good Soul's Kitchen, which is in Chiang Mai, which I absolutely loved. So I highly recommend it if you're there at any point for any reason. And there's different temples and stuff that we would visit, not as part of the scheduled stuff of the retreat, but like, you're there with other people, and you can obviously arrange your own stuff. And yeah, it was just a good way. I've talked about like bonding with other people before, but it was a really good experience. And I mean, seeing the temples and stuff alone is a great experience. But to do it when you're there for this, like, this Shaolin martial arts thing, and I don't know, it's a special thing to be able to do. Like, I'm very privileged to have been able to do that, and I'm very thankful for it. I'm very grateful that my sort of life circumstances lined up in such a way that I could attend. And obviously I've continued the journey through to getting my instructor's level and everything else, which yeah, I don't know, I think the retreat was a big part of that, even though it was a little while ago now. And yeah, of course, in Chiang Mai, there's other things to do, and there's bars and stuff. I don't drink alcohol, so it wasn't really, that's not really an interest for me. But at the end of the day, most people do, right? So yeah, there's like clubs and stuff, and there's a lot of good stuff there in terms of the nightlife and everything. And not everyone is boring like me. So yeah, but yeah, it was a really, so I think it's not just about the retreat and about the Shou Gong itself, but it's also the stuff that goes with it. So yeah, it is expensive. It can, depending on where you are in the world, it can be a lot of money to fly to Thailand. But I'd say if it is possible and you can do it, then yeah, I'd recommend it at least once. If you're doing Shou Gong and you're thinking, hey, look, I know there are these retreats, like, is it possible for me to go? Yeah, all I can say is, like, I don't know what people's situation is in terms of like their family, their finances, whatever. But all I can say for my personal experience is that it was very worthwhile doing it. And yeah, I don't know when I'll next attend one of those, but yeah, I'm very glad that I did it at least once. And in terms of the sort of going forward with it, there is going to be a winter camp this year, right at the end of this year, and in fact, I think it runs across the new year. But it's not in Chiang Mai this time; it's in Pai, and so it's still in Thailand, but a different area. Um, and I know it's going to be 6 days again. At the moment, it's still like an early bird thing. So if you sign up now, I think it's considerably cheaper than, I guess, at the end of October. Don't take this as gospel, like I'm thinking off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's like early sign-ups run up until the end of October. So there's a little bit of time left. Um, but yeah, I'll put the details in the sort of description box, and people can register there if they want. Um, but yeah, I don't, there's not too much. It's difficult because there is actually loads more I could say about it, right? But again, I don't want to make the video, like 30, 40 minutes. I don't even know how long I've been filming now, but I don't want it to be a gargantuan upload. Um, but yeah, if you have any specific questions about it, by all means, comment them and in the comment box, and I'll try and reply. I can't promise I'll see all of them, but I do my best for it. And yeah, it's just something I'd really encourage people to go to if they can. Um, and yeah, I'll again, maybe at a later time I'll talk more about specific stuff about it. But I think just as an overview, I think I've covered everything I needed to sort of to say about it, right? But yeah. So with that, I just as always, I wish you guys much love. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are in the world. And remember, Gongers never say die.